Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, we are going to look at some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to economic development and planning, which is the economics general paper for TYBA. So let's get started. The first question is, who formulates monetary policy? And the underlying options are A. Central bank, B. Central government, C. Central board, or D. None of the above. So here the institution which formulates monetary policy is always the central bank of a country, and therefore option A, central bank, is the correct answer with respect to question number 1. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. Dash works as the monetary authority of India and thereby operates the monetary policy. Who works as the monetary authority of India and thereby operates the monetary policy, whether it is A, SBI or State Bank of India, B, RBI or Reserve Bank of India, C, CBI, or D, Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI. Here the correct answer is the Reserve Bank of India works as the monetary authority of India and thereby operates the monetary policy. So option B is the correct answer with respect to question number 2. Let us now move to the next one. Dash at its discretion can announce monetary measures at any point of time. Who at its discretion can announce monetary measures at any point in time? Whether it is A, central government, B, State Bank of India, C, Reserve Bank of India, or D, none of the above. So here the correct answer is it is the Reserve Bank of India who can announce monetary measures at any point in time on its discretion. So option C, Reserve Bank of India, is the correct answer with respect to this question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to question number 4. Question is, the Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy every year in the month of dash. The Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy every year in the month of A, January, B, February, C, March, and D, April. So here the correct answer is the Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy every year in the month of April. So option D, April, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next one. The Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy every year, followed by quarterly reviews in dash. The quarterly reviews are happening in which months? Whether it is A, July, B, October, C, January, or D, all of the above. So here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. That means the monetary policy statement comes in the month of April, and then there is a quarterly review in July, October, and January. So all of the above is the correct answer with respect to question number 5. Let us now move to the next one. The annual monetary policy of Reserve Bank of India is made up of dash and dash. The annual monetary policy of Reserve Bank of India is made up of option A, macroeconomic and monetary developments and actions taken and fresh policy measures, B, microeconomic and monetary development and actions taken and fresh policy measures, C, macroeconomic and fiscal developments and fresh policy measures, and option D is none of the above. So here the annual monetary policy of the Reserve Bank of India is made up of macroeconomic and monetary development and actions taken and fresh policy measures. So option A is the correct answer with respect to this question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. Part A of the annual monetary policy consists of dash. Part A of annual monetary policy consists of A, macroeconomic and monetary developments, B, actions taken and fresh policy measures, C, established government policies, and D, none of the above. So here the part A of annual monetary policy consists of all the macroeconomic and monetary developments, and therefore option A, macroeconomic and monetary developments, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to question number 8. Part B of the annual monetary policy consists of what? And the underlying options are A, macroeconomic and monetary developments. Now this cannot be the answer because it is present in part A of the annual monetary policy. So first option was macroeconomic and monetary development, second is actions taken and fresh policy measures, third is established government policy, and last is none of the above. So here again, when we are looking at part B, it is the actions taken and fresh policy measures which form part B of the monetary policy or annual monetary policy, and therefore I hope the distinction between part A and part B of the annual monetary policy is pretty much clear. Part A consists of macroeconomic and monetary development, and part B consists of actions taken and fresh policy measures. Let us now move to question number 9. Monetary policy of Reserve Bank of India deals with dash. The monetary policy of Reserve Bank of India deals with A. Financial stability, B. Financial markets, C. Interest rates, and D. All of the above. That means financial stability in markets as well as interest rates. So here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. So Reserve Bank, or the monetary policy of Reserve Bank of India, deals with financial stability, financial markets as well as interest rates. Let us now move to the next one. Similar sort of question. Monetary policy of RBI deals with dash, and the underlying options are A. Credit delivery, B. Regulatory norms, C. Financial inclusion, D. All of the above. So here the correct answer is again option D, all of the above, because RBI and its monetary policy deals with credit delivery, regulatory norms as well as financial inclusion, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next one, which is again a similar sort of question. Monetary policy of RBI deals with dash, and the underlying options are A. Controls financial institutions, B. Sale and purchase of assets, C. Maintain interest rates, and D. All of the above. So here again the correct answer is option D, all of the above, because the monetary policy of Reserve Bank of India deals with controlling financial institutions, purchase and sale of assets as well as maintenance of interest rates. So question number 9, 10 and 11 we have seen some of the important ways in which the monetary policy of RBI throws light on the regulation of financial markets, financial institutions in India per se. So these 3 questions talk about the monetary policy of RBI and how it deals with markets in general or institutions in general. Let us now move to the next one. Monetary policy can be of dash and dash types. Monetary policy can be of dash and dash types, and the underlying options are A. Expansionary and contractionary monetary policy, B. Simple and understandable monetary policy, C. Controlling and dominating monetary policy, and D. None of the above. So here the types of monetary policies can be A. Expansionary and contractionary. So option A is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. The Monetary Policy Committee of Reserve Bank of India consists of dash members. The Monetary Policy Committee of Reserve Bank of India consists of A. 2 members, B. 4 members, C. 6 members, and D. 8 members. The Monetary Policy Committee of Reserve Bank of India consists of 6 members, and therefore option C, 6 members, is the correct answer with respect to question number 13. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. Now very important question. Who is the chairman of Monetary Policy Committee? Who is the chairman of Monetary Policy Committee? And the underlying options are Governor of Reserve Bank of India, B. Chairman of State Bank of India, C. the Prime Minister of India, and D. Finance Minister. So here the correct answer is it has to be the Governor of Reserve Bank of India, and therefore option A, Governor of Reserve Bank of India, is the chairman of Monetary Policy Committee, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Now I hope this is pretty much clear. Now currently if you look at who's the chairman, it is bound to be the Governor of Reserve Bank of India, and the name of the Governor of Reserve Bank of India is Shaktikanta Das. So you have to remember, they might ask you the name of the governor as well. So Shaktikanta Das is the current Governor of Reserve Bank of India, and then he is also the chairman of monetary policy. Let us now move to question number 15. Which of the following are monetary instruments? Which of the following are monetary instruments? And the underlying options are A. Repo rate, B. Reverse repo rate, C. Statutory liquidity ratio, D. Cash reserve ratio, and we have to look at the options which are available to us and then select the correct answer. So the options are repo, reverse repo, statutory liquidity ratio, and cash reserve ratio, and the first option to select answer is A and B, that is repo and reverse repo rate. Second is A, B and C, that is A, B and C is repo, reverse repo, and statutory liquidity ratio. Third is BCND, that is reverse repo, statutory liquidity ratio and cash reserve ratio, and last is all of the above. So, here the correct answer is which of the following are the monetary instruments? All of the above are, that is SLR, CRR, repo and reverse repo are all the instruments of monetary policy, and therefore option 4 all of the above is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to question number 16. The question is dash is the rate at which the Reserve Bank of India gives loans to commercial banks in India. Dash is the rate at which the RBI gives loans to commercial banks in India, and the underlying options are A repo rate, B reverse repo rate, C bank rate and D none of the above. So, here the correct answer is option A repo rate. In case of repo rate, the Reserve Bank of India gives loans to commercial banks in India, but the commercial banks have to keep securities with the Reserve Bank of India so as to avail this facility. In case of bank rate, the Reserve Bank of India does not ask for any securities to the commercial banks. So, that is again one of the way in which RBI gives loan, but here I am specifically asking about the rate at which RBI is giving loans to commercial banks in India, and explicitly you have to assume that the government securities are kept, and also we do not have option the answer option to be A and C. So, therefore, here the correct answer is a repo rate per se. Anyways, question 16 option A is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one. Dash is the rate at which the RBI borrows funds from the banks in India. In the former, the RBI was giving loans to commercial banks. In the latter, what is happening is it is a rate at which the RBI is borrowing funds from banks in India. Let us look at the underlying options. The first is repo rate, second is reverse repo rate, third is bank rate and D none of the above. So, here option B reverse repo rate is the correct answer with respect to this question, because it is the rate at which the RBI borrows funds from banks in India. Let us now move to the next one, a current affairs sort of a question. The current repo rate in India is dash 4%, 5%, 6% and 7%. So, here according to the recent monetary policy, the current repo rate in India is 4%. So, option A 4% is the correct answer this particular question. A major distinction between repo and reverse repo is the way in which the loans are given. That is, in repo it is given from RBI to the banks, and in reverse repo it is the other way around, that is from the banks to the Reserve Bank of India. If you look at the repo rate, it is now it is 4%. So, reverse repo will always be less than that, okay, because when RBI borrows funds from banks, they borrow it at a lesser rate of interest, and when they want to give it to the banks, they give it a higher rate of interest. So, that is the difference. So, we will see it in the next question itself. The current reverse repo rate in India is dash, and the underlying options are A 3.35%, B 4.35%, C 5.35% and D 6.35%. So, the current reverse repo rate in India is option A 3.45%. So, you can see here the current repo rate is 4%, that is when the RBI is giving loans to the banks, it is giving at 4%, but when it is borrowing from the banks, it is borrowing at a lesser rate, that means at 3.35%. So, this is again an important distinction between the two types of rates, that is repo and reverse repo rate. I hope the distinction is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The liquidity adjustment facility or LAF facility of RBI consists of dash and dash. The LAF or liquidity adjustment facility of RBI consists of A repo rate and reverse repo rate, B cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, C marginal standing facility or MSF and repo rate, and last is statutory liquidity ratio or SLR and marginal standing facility rate or MSF. Here the correct answer is under LAF, that is liquidity adjustment facility of RBI. It consists of repo rate and reverse repo rate, and therefore option A repo rate and reverse repo rate is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next one. The overnight window for commercial banks to borrow funds from the Reserve Bank of India is called as dash. The overnight window for commercial banks to borrow funds from RBI is called as, when the banks were borrowing between each other, it is called as the interbank market or call money market, and the rates of interest used to be very high, and it was to the banks used to borrow it for a very short period of time. So, the rates were very high, and as a result the Reserve Bank of India came up with this overnight window for commercial banks to borrow funds from Reserve Bank of India, and this arrangement is called as what? Whether it is A, marginal standing facility, B, statutory liquidity ratio, C, cash reserve ratio, or D, none of the above. So here the correct answer is it is marginal standing facility rate, or MSF, which is called as the overnight window for commercial banks to borrow funds from the Reserve Bank of India. Very important arrangement for overnight funds. So I hope this is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. Now there is certain limit set for marginal standing facility by the Reserve Bank of India. So let us look at the next question. The borrowing limit for marginal standing facility is set by RBI at -% of net time and demand liabilities. So what is the borrowing limit for marginal, or borrowing limit under marginal standing facility? It is what percent of net time and demand liabilities, whether it is A, 1%, B, 2%, C, 3%, or D, 4%. So it is very factual sort of a question. So if at all the commercial banks wants to borrow funds through this overnight window facility, which is the marginal standing facility, they have to make sure that the limit is 2% of the net time and demand liabilities of the bank. So therefore option B, 2%, is the correct answer with respect to this question. I hope the question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. The current marginal standing facility, or MSF, rate in India is -%, whether it is A, 4.25%, B, 5.25%, C, 6.25%, or D, 7.25%. So here the correct answer is the marginal standing facility rate in India is 4.25%. So option A, 4.25%, is the correct answer with respect to question number 23. Let us now move to the next one. Dash is the long-term arrangement where the Reserve Bank of India gives loans to commercial banks. We have already seen a concept wherein the Reserve Bank of India was giving loans to commercial banks, and that is called as, or that is known as, repo rate. So in repo rate as well, the Reserve Bank of India is giving loans to the commercial banks, but in that case the RBI is looking into the securities which are there with the commercial banks, and after looking at that, the RBI decides what will be the course of loan given to the commercial banks. In this case, it is a long-term arrangement where RBI gives loans to commercial banks, whether it is A, bank rate, B, call rate, C, SLR, or D, CRR. So here the correct answer is it is bank rate. So in case of repo rate as well as bank rate, in both the cases the RBI is giving loans to the commercial banks. In the former, which is repo rate, the government security thing is looked into. In case of latter, which is bank rate, there is no such arrangement wherein the RBI is looking at the securities or any other deposits of the commercial banks. So here it is a long-term arrangement where RBI gives loans to the commercial banks, and it is called as bank rate. Let us now move to the next one. The value of bank rate is usually -% higher than repo rate. It is -% higher than repo rate. So, and the underlying options are A, 1% higher, B, 2% higher, C, 3% higher, or D, 4% higher. So here what is happening is the value of bank rate is usually a percent higher than repo rate, or what percent higher than the repo rate. So here the correct answer is it is usually 1% higher than the repo rate. So here the correct answer is option A, 1% higher than the repo rate. Usually 1% higher than the repo rate, depends again upon the situation in the country per se. Okay, so if you look at the current repo rate in India, it is 4%. It is 4%. So it is around that, it is around 1% higher. It can be 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, or 1% higher. Anyways, let us move to the next one. The current bank rate in India is dash, and the underlying options are A, 4.25%, B, 5.25%, C, 6.25%, and D, 7.25%. So the current bank rate in India is 4.25%. So it is 0.25% higher than the repo rate, which is 4%. Repo is 4%, and here bank rate is 4.25%. So I hope the distinction between the two is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. Dash refers to the liquid assets which the banks have to keep with Reserve Bank of India. The liquid assets which the banks have to keep with RBI, whether it is A, cash reserve ratio, whether it is B, statutory liquidity ratio, whether it is C, marginal standing facility, or D, none of the above. So here it is nothing but option A, cash reserve ratio, which refers to the liquid assets which the banks have to keep with the Reserve Bank of India. So option A, cash reserve ratio, is the correct answer with respect to this question. I am sorry I have not highlighted it, but option A is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next one. Dash and dash are the floor and ceiling values of cash reserve ratio or CRR. Earlier there was this arrangement of floor and ceiling value. Now I don't really think so, but anyways it is there in theory, so we should know. And the underlying options are A, 3% and 20%. That means the minimum value of CRR is 3% and the maximum is 20%. B, 1% and 30%. C, 4% and 25%, and D, none of the above. So here the correct answer is the floor and ceiling values of CRR are 3% and 20% respectively. So 3% is the floor value and 20% is the ceiling value of cash reserve ratio or CRR. I hope question number 28 is pretty much clear. Let us now move to question number 29. Again an important arrangement. Dash corresponds to the liquid reserves each bank has to keep locked with itself in cash, gold, government securities, forex, etc. Now in the previous case, which was the cash reserve ratio case, it was the liquid asset which the banks had to keep with the Reserve Bank of India, that too in the current account of Reserve Bank of India, for which they do not really get any interest, but anyways. And here what is happening is the banks have to keep with itself in cash, gold, government securities, whatever form. Okay, so what do you call such arrangement? Whether it is A, marginal standing facility, B, statutory liquidity ratio or SLR, C, cash reserve ratio or CRR, and D, none of the above. So here whenever the bank is keeping it with the Reserve Bank of India, it is the cash reserve ratio. When it is keeping locked with itself in cash, gold, government security or foreign exchange, it is called as statutory liquidity ratio or SLR. So option B, SLR, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Very important question. Let us now move to the next one. The present value of CRR or cash reserve ratio is dash, and the underlying options are A, 4%, B, 5%, C, 6% and D, 7%. The present value of CRR or cash reserve ratio or the liquid assets which the banks have to keep with the Reserve Bank of India is 4%. So option A, 4%, is the correct answer with respect to the same. Let us now move to question number 31. The present value of SLR is dash, whether it is A, 16%, B, 18%, C, 20% or D, 22%. The present value of SLR or statutory liquidity ratio. Now we know what SLR is. It is the reserves or liquid reserves rather, which each bank keeps locked with itself in cash, gold, government security or foreign exchange, and the current present value is 18%. So option B, 18%, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the tools of monetary policy, and the first question in terms of that is question number 32, and the question is, which of the following are the quantitative tools or instruments of monetary policy? Quantitative tools, and the underlying options are A, cash reserve ratio, B, open market operations or OMOs, C, repo rate, and D, all of the above. So the quantitative tools or instruments of monetary policy are all of the above, that is cash reserve ratio, open market operations as well as repo rate. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. The qualitative instruments or tools of monetary policy includes dash. In the previous question it was quantitative, here I am looking at the qualitative, and the underlying options are A, moral suasion, B, direct action, C, credit control, and D, all of the above. So here the qualitative instruments or tools of monetary policy includes all of the above, that is moral suasion, direct action as well as credit controls. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next one. The quantitative instruments or tools are also known as dash, whether it is A, general tools, B, selective tools, C, good tools, or D, bad tools. So the quantitative instruments or tools of monetary policy are also known as general tools. Option A, general tools, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next one. The qualitative instruments or tools are also known as dash, and the underlying options are A, general tools, B, selective tools, C, good tools, and D, bad tools. So here the correct answer is, we are talking about qualitative, and it is selective tools. So when it is quantitative, it is general tools. When it is qualitative, it is selective tools. I hope both these questions are pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. Dash refers to the purchase and sale of short term and long term securities by the Reserve Bank of India. The sale and purchase of short term and long term securities by RBI is known as A. Open market operations or OMOs, B. Moral suasion, C. Credit control, or D. None of the above. So here, whenever the Reserve Bank of India is engaged into sale and purchase of short term and long term securities, it is termed as open market operations or OMOs. So option A, open market operations, is the correct answer with respect to question number 36. Let us now move to question number 37. The Reserve Bank of India dash the VRR or variation in reserve ratios during inflation to reduce the purchasing power and credit creation, whether it will A. increase the VRR, B. decrease the VRR, C. stabilize the VRR, or D. none of the above. So during inflation, to reduce the purchasing power, that means to suck the excess liquidity which is there in the market, and also to reduce the credit creation which is happening in the market, the Reserve Bank of India is going to increase the VRR or variation in reserve ratios. So option A, increases, is the correct answer. So inflation, it will increase. Obviously there will be a different situation wherein there is recession or depression, and in that case what the RBI is going to do, and the next question is talking about that. So the RBI during recessions or depression dash the VRR, making more cash reserves available for credit expansion. So in case of inflation, what we did is we started sucking the excess liquidity and reduced the purchasing power as well as credit creation by increasing the VRR. In case of recession or depression, we have to make sure that we give more cash reserves to the system for credit expansion and also to the people, and in such a case what we are going to do is we are going to decrease the VRR, and therefore option B, decreases, is the correct answer with respect to question number 38. Very important questions, question number 37 and 38. Situations and how do you respond. First was inflationary situation and the second is recession or depression. So both these cases very important way in which the Reserve Bank of India is acting towards managing this situation. Let us now move to question number 39. The limitations of quantitative or general tools of monetary policy are dash, and the underlying options are A. insensitivity of investments, B. conflicting effects it has, C. it is indiscriminatory, and D. all of the above. So here the limitations of quantitative or general tools are all of the above. That means it is insensitive or insensitivity is there towards investment, conflicting effects, and indiscriminatory. So option D, all of the above, is the correct. Let us now move to the next one. Which of the following are the limitations of open market operations? We have seen the definition of open market operations. It is an engagement in which the Reserve Bank of India is engaged into The next question is question number 40, and the question is, which of the following are the limitations of open market operations or OMOs? And the underlying options are A. lack of well developed securities market, B. attitude of the investors, C. less effective during inflation, and D. all of the above. So we have seen what does open market operations particularly means. It is the exchange, or it is the situation where the Reserve Bank of India is engaged into the sale and purchase of government securities for short term as well as long term. So what are the limitations of this open market operation? Whether it is A. lack of well developed securities market, B. attitude of the investors, C. less effectiveness during inflation, or D. all of the above. So here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. Let us now move to the next one. Which of the following denotes the limitations of qualitative tools or selective tools of monetary policy? And the underlying options are A. non-banking financial companies or NBFCs are not covered, B. difficult to control ultimate use of credit, C. commercial banks may manipulate their accounts, and D. all of the above. So here which of the following denotes the limitations of qualitative tools or selective tools? All of the above. That means NBFCs are not covered, difficult to control the ultimate use of credit, as well as commercial banks may manipulate their accounts. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the next question. Which of the following denotes the objectives of monetary policy? The objectives of monetary policy, and the underlying options are A, price stability, B, controlled expansion of bank credit, C, promotion of fixed investment, D, all of the above. The objectives of monetary policy are denoted by option A, B and C. That means option D, all of the above is the correct answer. That means objectives of monetary policy includes price stabilization, controlled expansion of bank credit, as well as promotion of fixed investments. So option D, all of the above is the correct answer with respect to this question. Let us now move to the last question in this segment. Dash denotes the objectives of monetary policy. Similar sort of question, and the underlying options are A, desired distribution of credit, B, promotion of efficiency in the banking and financial system, C, reduce the rigidity in the banking system and financial system, and D, all of the above. So here again option D, all of the above is the correct answer with respect to this question. So in question number 42 and 43 we have seen 6 important objectives of monetary policy, and they are price stabilization, controlled expansion of bank credit, promotion of fixed investment, desired distribution of credit, promote efficiency, and also reduce rigidity. So these are 6 important objectives of monetary policy. So in this lecture we have seen 43 important questions with respect to monetary policy, and I hope they are pretty much clear. So please stay tuned for more. Thank you.